Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monster Territory, brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. And, I used to say one line a lot over the last couple of years. I haven't said it too much this year, but the line was, you can't stop the Sox. Are we back? Am I back to saying that now? I've been holding off on it. I'm feeling pretty good. I tweeted out during the game. Listen, frick, I'm feeling good. Hold your buns, buckle your buns. The Red Sox might be fully back. Am I going to say you can't stop the Sox? Not quite yet. I need to see a good series against the Rays, but wow, things are looking up lately for the Red Sox. You just sweep the Rockies. I know it's the Rockies, but whatever. You got to beat up on the bad teams. They're beating up on the bad teams like crazy right now. The Nationals, they took them to town. They took their lunch money, and they ate their lunch right in front of them. The Reds, you took 2 out of 3. Yeah, you had a bummer of a loss in Game 3 in that one, but these guys are red hot, man. They've won 8 out of their last 9. They've won 6 straight games. Final score tonight, 10-2. They've scored 78 freaking runs over the last 9 games. That is an average of 8.6 runs per game. Again, I know it's the bad teams, but this is what you got to do against the bad teams. And the Red Sox, listen, here's the thing. I think we could all agree. The Red Sox, sure, they've had a couple of bad series, right? That Tigers series, the Blue Jays, they've had a tough time against them. But, they've held their own against some good teams here, right? Look at the Yankees. I know the Yankees have been slumping lately, but still, still got a good record on the year. They've taken, how many games against the Yankees now? They've only lost, one time? I'm just saying, the Red Sox, they've shown you they can beat some good teams. Where it's been frustrating with them is beating themselves against teams that you should beat. Making all the silly mistakes out in the field, on the base paths, whatever it may be. That's where this team has been frustrating this year. So the fact that, sure, it's the Rockies, it's the Nationals, I get that, but they're taking care of business, which is something they haven't been able to do consistently up to this point. So for me personally, I think it's a good sign. I'm revved up right now, man. I'm feeling good, man, against the Rockies. Gonna pump the brakes just a little bit, but it's looking good. The return of Masataka Yoshida, ladies and gentlemen, 3 for 4 on the night. That guy hasn't skipped a beat. That's what I was saying over the last couple of shows. He probably just needs a few games, down to the minors, get a few ABs. This guy is a pro's pro, one of the most professional at-bats in Major League Baseball. When he's healthy, this guy is very productive, man. It was really nice to see Masataka Yoshida, and I've talked about this where you go back, to the offseason. Even myself, I was saying, hey, you know what? If there's a way to unload Masa, who knows? Maybe you can get something in return for him. That clears up. I was, on the boat going into the offseason saying, hey, I think you need to upgrade the defense at third base. I think Rafi, that could be the next big poppy in Boston. I was on that train going into the offseason. I knew Masa was a good bat, but, when you looked at the overall value, the fact that he was really just a light-hitting DH, couldn't really play the field, had the shoulder thing, you just knew you weren't really going to get anything for him in a trade. But I was looking at it where, okay, you can open up a spot on the roster if you were able to move him. Maybe you got to eat a little of the contract. But here we are, and you know what? I'm glad I'm kind of eating my words on that because the offense has been great, and now you're just adding a bat that it's a bat that the Red Sox, I think, need in the lineup where, sure, this offense is just going crazy right now, but he's going to help you limit those strikeouts. He's going to work that count more. He's going to give you good contact. He's going to put the ball in play. That is something that I feel like it's a forgotten art in the game. Just putting the ball in play. I know, we love the long ball. We love the exit velo. We love the long shangle. But Massa, he's just a good traditional hitter. A guy that just does the small things, puts the ball in play. He works the count. You would Massa is the type of bat that you would love, absolutely be raving about in the 2000s, right? Early 2010s. Any team would love to have that kind of a bat, right? Because, of course, home runs have always been a thing, but there's such an emphasis on that today. There's such an emphasis on the batted ball data where, you look at Mossy, like, oh, 15 home runs, 20 home runs. Oh, okay. But back, 20 years ago, that's a bat any team would love to have in their lineup. So I like that, they're bringing a little bit of that into this lineup now. It's really nice to see him back. Really nice to see him back. So, Carlos Narvaez, Captain Carlos. That's my nickname for him. I know everyone's calling him Narv or the Narv or whatever. Captain Carlos, man, it just rolls off the tongue so nicely. Another good game for him tonight. Anytime this guy's in the lineup, you feel pretty good. And I know Connor Wong, it is what it is with Connor Wong. But Carlos Narvaez, man, when this guy's in the lineup, you're feeling pretty good. Home run again tonight, 2 for 4. Romy Gonzalez. This guy's just killing it. But you know what was good about Romy tonight? It wasn't just that he hit another home run. He hit a home run off of a freaking righty. I'm just saying. Off of Halverson. The guy throws gas. You got to love that, man. Romy getting the start tonight against the righty. Could we be seeing this a bit more often? I know it's the Rockies pitching. But just saying. Maybe you start to see Romy get a few more ABs here. Maybe start earning some playing time against more righties. We'll have to wait and see against the good righties. And I don't know about that, but I don't know. Maybe he gets a chance at some point against a tough righty. Maybe in this Rays series. Probably not. Cora's probably going to just stick with the platoons. He's going to, this is the Rays here. We're going to talk about the Rays here tonight. That's a big series coming up. Jarren Duran staying hot tonight. Another home run. Just demolished it. I know Jarren Duran, this guy's coming up in a lot of trade stuff. He was mentioned today by John Morosi. We will be talking a little Joe Ryan. That was all the buzz today. I will dive into that. I'm going to go over some trade possibilities. We'll watch the John Morosi clip today from MLB Network. I do have that ready to go. We will watch that together, and I will react to that. And I'll go over some trade possibilities of what it could look like to land someone like Joe Ryan. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, I have been mentioning Joe Ryan here the last couple of days. Listen, I am not going to make stuff up just to try and, get clicks or get attention. If I hear something from people that I trust, I am going to tell you. If someone tells me something and I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. Let me follow up with someone else, and if I don't get a good read on it, then I'm not going to tell you, right? I'm not going to throw stuff out there and see what sticks. If I hear something, I poke around a little bit, I confirm it with some other people, and that's when I tell you. And I've been hearing about Joe Ryan here the last couple of days, and here you go today, right? Getting the report with the national media. So you can always, for the most part, I will always try to be 100% with you. If I feel like something's off, I'm not going to even mention it. But if I feel very good about it, I'm going to tell all of you. So, especially with the trade deadline coming up, if I hear anything and I feel good about it, I'm going to let you know. So, moving on, though, again, we will talk about Joe Ryan here in a little bit. Roman Anthony, another solid night. OPS up to a 769. Marcelo Meyer with a couple of hits tonight. Felt like Marcelo Meyer had quietly had himself a solid night. Same with Roman, too. You got to love it, man. You got to love what's going on right now. And on top of that, Giolito just continues to pitch well. 6 shutty for Giolito. You got to love it, man. Everything's just clicking right now. Everything's great. And I'm very happy. I feel good. Everything's dandy. Everything's wonderful. Man, oh man. I got myself a good workout earlier. Came home, saw a good Red Sox game. That's the life, man. That's the life, I would go get myself, I usually work out right around, 5, 6 p.m. Get home usually right before the game starts. And then when you have a good workout and then it gets ruined by, bad defense and bad base running, it just puts such a sour note on just, you're feeling good. The dopamine is just through the roof, right? Or whatever all the good chemicals are in your body when you're feeling good. It's nice when you go do something like that, feeling good, and you come back to just a good old game, man. That's what I like. I'm rambling. Let's get on to the show here. And we are going to start here with the offense. I mean, that's been all the rage as of late. But We got to pay the bills. We got to keep the lights on. I'll be right back.
Ah, summer. We almost forgot what it feels like to play just because. But even summer needs backup. A little partner in the good kind of chaos. Someone to bring the kung fu kicks. Hiya! To train some dragons. Fly, young dragon rider, fly. The kind of fun that keeps the days going. That turns living rooms into playgrounds. And reminds us what our bodies and our hearts were made for. Play that moves you.
All right, player of the game. I'm going with Masataka Yoshida. I know you had some home runs here tonight, but, man, it's good to see this guy back. Look at that handsome face, man. We have missed that face. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he got all the pictures, doing all the sightseeing, wherever the heck this guy went. Just seeing the man running on the TV, just that perfect stride. Everything just nice and in place with the stride, the arms pumping. I miss that. It's kind of one of those things. You don't realize how good it was until it was gone. Good to see him back. Good to see him back. I'm happy Mas is back. 3 for 4 tonight with a double RBI. And looking good. Hasn't skipped a beat. Now, in the beginning of the game, he had a couple of double plays early. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, come on. What are we doing? This is Senzatella on the mound. Come on. This guy, come on. We got to go to town against this guy. They were getting into a couple of double plays early on. Now, first inning, Jarren Duran getting us started. Anytime Jarren Duran, when he gets to get the legs involved, it's just like Jared Carabas, I think, put it perfectly with his tweet tonight. Chaos. That's just how it is with Jarren Duran. Ground ball up the middle. You're thinking, oh, okay, all right, probably a routine play from Arcia. Nope, he booted it into the outfield. Fernandez missed it out there. Then Duran gets to third base. What the frick was that? Holy cow. You can't mess up with Jarren Duran on the base paths. He got all the way over to third base. Roman got hit by a pitch. And unfortunately, Trevor Story striking out. Willier with the double play. You couldn't capitalize on that, unfortunately. But then second inning, Carlos Narvaez picking it up. Home run, 8th home run of the year. Captain Carlos, not an all-star, man. Not an all-star. Hey, Cal Riley, the guy's been an absolute freak show. Alejandro Kirk, he's been very good too. Narvaez, I think Seti was more of a snub, in my opinion, because, Riley and Kirk, they've been very good too. It would have been nice to see Narvaez there, but hey, you know what? I'm okay. The guy maybe needs a little bit of a breather. He's had a very good first half. I'm excited for him in the second half. And Masataka Yoshida, base hit in his first AB back. Love it, man. Just a good old solid base hit. That's what Masa brings to the table. Third inning. Masataka Yoshida, RBI in his return. Jarren Duran with a walk. Story grounding into a double play. But Narvaez had the double. And then Masa with the RBI base hit that made it 2-0. Fifth inning, Roman with a base hit, 104 miles per hour off the bat. Alex Cora was talking with the WEEI today. And, this guy is just raving over Roman Anthony, right? The composure this guy has at the major league level, it looks like he's been there. Honestly, is Roman Anthony actually in his prime? Is he lying about his age? Is this guy, 29, 30, 31 years old? Honestly, it seems like it, the way he is up there. I don't know, man. Roman, he's looking great. And then Willier with his 18th home run. That leaves the Red Sox. They made it 4-0. In the 6th inning, Masa, unfortunately, with a ground out. The perfect return ends, unfortunately. He could not be batting 1,000, but he's batting a good 750. Not too bad. Romy with the walk. Meyer ground out to first base. Romy moved over to second base. David Hamilton. David Hamilton. I know. Every time he starts, we're all like, oh, David Hamilton. But he always seems to come through. I've noticed this. When everyone complains that he's in the lineup, I feel, at least lately, I've been noticing this guy's been coming through. RBI base hit, made it 5-0. 8th inning, that's when the Red Sox really just piled it on here. Yoshida capping off a great return with a ground rule double. 3 for 4 on the night. Romy staying red hot here. 5th home run. That made it 7-2 off of the righty. And let me pull up here Romy Gonzalez, let's take a look at the numbers as of late. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Over his last 24 ABs in 7 games, he's hitting .500 with a slugging over 1,000. Unbelievable. I mean, over the last 30 games, you want a bigger sample size? Sure, let's talk about that. Hitting .361 with an OPS over 1,000 over that time. I mean, the guy's phenomenal. Batting average up to a .338, .975 OPS, .372 on base. I mean, like, holy cow. I mean, man, they got this guy for free, basically. They got him for free from the White Sox, really. That's crazy. Listen, we've had our gripes over, Peter Fatsi and the gang, or at least we were a little while back. But the Red Sox hitting development, it's very good, right? I mean, and they have really tapped into something here with Romy. It's very fun to see. Speaking of hitting development, we got the draft this weekend. I think people are forgetting about the draft. I love the draft. I love it. I got my mock draft coming out tomorrow on the main channel, so stay tuned for that. I'm not going to tell you who I got for the Red Sox. I am very set. I got a couple of people out there that I talked to. Again, the draft, it's so difficult to read. And this year especially, you got a lot of depth in this draft. You got a couple of guys at the top, but you got a few guys. But overall, the depth of this draft is really what stands out the most. We'll see what the Red Sox end up doing. They went very pitching heavy last year. Obviously, they went with Bregman Montgomery. That was a bit of a birthday gift for him. He was projected even in the top 5 going into the draft at one point. They ended up falling to the Red Sox at number 12. So that was a bit of a birthday gift right there. And then they used him in the Garrett Crochet trade. So the Red Sox, they went with obviously a big-time position player with the first pick. And then they went a lot of pitching. Going on all the way, how many rounds? I can't even remember how many rounds there were, but they went with a ton of pitching after that. Getting guys like Peyton Tolley, Brandon Clark. And I wonder if maybe they could do the opposite this time around. That's the hint that I'm going to give you with the pick that I made for my mock draft. I wonder if they go high upside arm. There's one arm that I'm in love with, man. There's one arm. I wonder if anyone can guess it in the chat. But that's the way I'm leaning, because there's so many good position players in this class, like going on to the later rounds. So I wonder if maybe that's where the Red Sox try to get value. Maybe they go for a big arm in the first round. We'll see. I'm excited for it. Join me Sunday night. I'm going to be reacting to all the picks Sunday night on the main channel. So, getting back to the game, that's how excited I am over the draft. I completely got sidetracked with that. But we kept on with the offense after the Romy home run. Meyer with a base hit. Hamilton with a walk. Duran, 8th home run. 3-run homer over the bullpen. 10-2. Jarren Duran, he's been red hot here. He is really looking good as of late. Now, moving on to Lucas Giolito. Let's talk about Lucas Giolito, shall we? And, hey, looking solid here. 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned. 6 Ks on the night. Once again, sticking to a pretty simple approach. Heavy on the fastball, good changeups, threw some good sliders in there as well. He got 17 whiffs total tonight. That's a 35%. That's compared to a 21% whiff percentage on the season. He was getting a lot more swing and miss. It's the Rockies, I know, but still. Getting a lot of swing and miss tonight. Heavy with the fastball, averaging right around 94 miles per hour. Fastball continues to look very good. 8 whiffs total on the fastball. He did go up a lot in the zone. That's something he has been doing lately, but he was kind of mixing around throughout the zone here tonight. So he was really just dotting his fastball wherever he wanted. Change up, he got 5 whiffs on that. He was keeping them low for the most part. Slider, he was mixing around the zone, really, going in and out of the zone. He got 4 whiffs there. He just continues to look solid. I mean, there's really not much to say. Just locating well. Good velo. He just locates his pitches well. Just playing around in the zone, really. He's having a good old time out there. Lucas Giolito continues to look great. And Yeah, for the bullpen, they had a nice lead to work with. Alcala with a scoreless 7th. And then Campbell, Isaiah Campbell, remember him? Remember Isaiah Campbell? Right? Well, he came back. First appearance in what feels like 10 years. Gave up the home run to Kyle Farmer. That made it 5-2 at the time. But then he closed out the 9th inning. So, I mean, really, he was just brought up to give you an extra arm out there. Hunter Dobbins, it looks like he's going to be coming back here soon. And it looks like he will be getting a start, at least from the way it's lining up. It looks like Hunter Dobbins would be getting a start. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. I see over 200 people in the chat. That's amazing. You know, we've had a few post-game shows with over 200. We're slowly building here on Masa territory. So I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all of you guys coming back every single night. But a good crowd here tonight. A lot of familiar faces in the chat. We got Mason, Brett, Marco Scudero is my hero, Zachary, Phoenix. How we doing? Moose, Scott. How we doing? All right, everyone. We do have this Rays series to talk about and the Joe Ryan rumors, along with Alex Bregman news. Alex Bregman could be on the mend. Before we get to that, we got to pay some more bills. We'll be right back.
AJ, we're in Vegas right now, and I have not had a lot of time to eat during the day. So
no.
What could we do?
I would love a Huel right now. Vanilla Huel would go down perfectly because when I have to skip meals because I'm too busy doing what you do in Vegas, which is not eat, I need a quick replacement, and Huel is the perfect thing.
I'm a chocolate guy myself. It's got the chocolate milkshake vibes to it. If you miss a meal, Huel can be your answer. If you're looking for a big protein boost, Huel can be your answer. So go check it out. Our friends at Huel are part of today's sponsorship. They've got you covered, spelled Huel. That black edition is a complete meal to feel full, focused, and ready for your day. Little prep, basically no prep. Shake it, open it. Huel has sold over 500 million meals around the world, and now it's your turn to try it. So go to Huel.com/foul and get Huel today with the exclusive offer for the FT fam of 15% off for new customers if you use the code, you know it, FOUL, minimum $75 purchase. Get after it.
All righty. Well, game one, we got Walker Buehler against the Rays. He looked a little bit better his last time out against the Nationals. 5 innings, still was pretty hittable, but he was able to maneuver through the lineup. A couple of earned runs, but this is going to be a tough matchup here with the Rays. So Walker Buehler, he's going to have to bring his A game here. Got some good bats here in this lineup with the Rays. Let's actually go take a look at some of the bats that you're going to have to deal with here. I mean, we've already seen the Rays this year, but hey, you know, they're having a good season. They have been a little cold as of late. They did win tonight against the Tigers, but overall 3-7 in their last 10. Let's actually take a look at the updated standings. Where are the standings here? That is not the standings. Let's go to the standings. And right now, the Red Sox still hanging tough in that wild card race. They are now tied with the Mariners for the 3rd spot. But the Rays, game and a half above the Red Sox. This could be a chance for the Red Sox to really cement themselves in one of those 3 spots going into the All-Star break. So this is definitely going to be big. Big-time series with the Rays, division rival. They're always going to play you tough. That's how it's always been with the Rays. Every time I've gone to Tropicana Field to go see the Red Sox, I feel like Liam Fennessy, where every time you go, the Red Sox just lose, right? I do not have a good record at Tropicana Field. That's just the way it's always been. But this one's at Fenway Park, so I'm feeling pretty good about that one. So, for Walker Buehler, like I said, he is going to have to bring his A game here. He said after his last start, it feels like he continues to trend in the right direction. Right, was kind of sticking more with a few pitches. He was still, working in a good amount, but he had at least what I felt, more of a game plan going into that game. He was sticking with it. Let's see. I mean, the last start, I felt like everything was moving very well with him. The mechanics were looking more smooth. I felt like he just looked a little more loose out there. He was able to locate a little better. So that's something I think he's been working on over the last month or so. Something mechanically, whether that's, release point, whatever else. But hopefully Walker Buehler can carry that momentum here into an important matchup with the Rays. But taking a look here at the Rays really quick, I got away from this for a second. But Junior Cameronero, he's actually going to be in the home run derby now. He's going to the All-Star game. Jonathan Aranda's having a good year. Yandy, Lau, veteran guys at the top of the lineup. They're going to be tough. Ha-Sung Kim is now back with the Rays. He came back recently. Guys like Jake Mangum, he's pretty underrated. Josh Lowe, he's going to do something for it. So you got bats. We all know how the Rays are, man. You got Chandler Simpson with all his speed at the bottom of the lineup. They're going to be a pesky lineup to work through. So we'll see if Buehler can really have enough. I don't know. I'm more of a wait and see on this matchup. But going up against Walker Buehler, we got Taj Bradley. Now, with Bradley, ERA close to a 5. The FIP is a little bit better at a 4.22. Now, with Bradley, you're going to get good velo, 96 miles an hour. He's going to get a decent amount of weak contact. But this is where I wonder if Masataka Yoshida could come in, where Bradley doesn't get a lot of guys to chase, doesn't rack up a ton of strikeouts, has some issues with command here and there, doesn't get a lot of swing and miss. So that's where the Red Sox, they might have to maybe choke up on the bat a little bit, really just try to, and with this approach, this new approach they've been taking, just getting more quality contact, more line drives as of late. So maybe that's where they could get the advantage on Taj Bradley. But I am looking for Yoshida to come through here. We'll see. But looking at the time, if you are watching this on Nesson, I do have to wrap it up right there. We are out of time on Nesson, but if you want to watch the rest of the show, come on over to YouTube, come to Monster Territory, and see what else I got to say. But everyone on Nesson, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for post-game coverage. So let's get back to it here. In Game 2, the Red Sox are going to have Drew Rasmussen. He's actually been pretty solid this year, 18 starts, ERA to 2.82. FIP at a 3.68. Now, with Rasmussen, he hasn't been going very deep into games as of late. He has not been able to log 6 innings since June 8th. So he's been having a little trouble going deeper into games. So let's see here. But with Rasmussen, you are going to get some decent velo from him as well. He's going to keep the walks in check. He's going to attack the zone. He's going to get weak contact. Well, he's going to limit the barrels, but guys have been able to get hard hits off of him and a good amount of exit velo. So maybe that could be something where the Red Sox, with the exit velo that they have, maybe this could be a pretty good matchup against Rasmussen. Again, he is going to attack the zone a good amount. So that's where the Red Sox, they're really going to have to make sure that swing and miss in the zone is kept to a minimum. Shane Baz, he's going up for Game 3. They went up against Shane Baz earlier in the year. I believe that was the Tanner Houck start where he gave up like 26 runs or whatever it was. 6 innings, 11 strikeouts in that one. And he did go up against the Red Sox. He did get a no decision back in June. 5 1/3, 3 earned, 5 Ks, 3 walks. So, hey, they made some progress against Baz last time out. So maybe this could be another step in the right direction. Now, again, we've seen Baz a couple of times. You know what you're going to get from him. Good velo. The breaking and the off-speed stuff with him hasn't fully been there. The fastball is going to be great with him. He's going to get a good amount of ground balls as well. So the Red Sox, if they can find a way to try and maybe lift the ball in the air just a little bit more, maybe that'll be good, right? He has not done a great job at limiting barrels. He's in the 20th percentile this year. But everything else, he's right around middle of the road for the most part. So I think with the Red Sox, you just got to try and square up with this guy, right? Take advantage. If he leaves a fastball out over the plate, go for it. It's going to be a tough pitch. But breaking and off-speed stuff, that might be the key. Look out for those pitches. And Ryan Pepio going in Game 4. For the most part, he has been pretty solid as well. ERA at a 3.32 over 19 starts. He has been giving up some hard hits, 38th percentile in exit velo. Barrel percentage in the 34th percentile, hard hit, 36. Doesn't get a lot of ground balls, only the 31st percentile. So I feel like with this Red Sox offense, as of late, I don't know, this might be right place, right time. That's kind of how I'm feeling, because there are some things that you could exploit here with the Rays pitching. So I think there is something, again, and what I've liked about the Red Sox lately, not just on the field, but the way they've been approaching their meetings off of the field. Cora, I mean, this has been talked about a little bit over the last week. I feel like it hasn't been getting a whole lot of attention, but they've been having more one-on-one meetings with guys instead of doing like group stuff. A bit more accountability there. And I actually like that, a bit more of a personal approach, right? Really try to dial in with these guys. And I think right now that's clicking. Obviously a lot of momentum right now. He's swinging a hot bat. Let's keep it going here against a tough Rays team. So, there is something against all of these pitchers in this 4-game set where you could maybe get, you could do some damage in different ways against these guys. Now, for the Red Sox, on Friday night, that looks like it could be the Hunter Dobbins start. Hasn't been announced. I don't think it's been announced, but that's looking like what it's going to be. And then Shane Baz will go up against Garrett Crochet. Obviously, Crochet's actually been a little bumpy his last couple of outings. I feel like the command has been a bit off with him. Maybe he's battling something mechanically a little bit. Let's see if maybe he worked on that a little bit over the last few days, but we'll see. And then Brian Bayo, obviously coming off his first career complete game, going up against Pepio. So again, just a lot of good things going right now for the Red Sox, obviously offensively, but they've been getting the solid pitching here. I think this could end up being a good matchup here. Again, it is kind of right place, right time. The Rays are cold. There's things you could exploit here against this pitching staff. And the bats, obviously, they're hot. I think just a lot of good things are happening while the Rays are cold, so I think you got to try and take advantage. So, let's move on here. Let's move on. We got one more thing to talk about. We got some rumors, ladies and gentlemen. The trade deadline is right around the corner. It's my favorite time of the year. I love this time of the year, man. It's great. And we got some rumors. And again, like I said in the intro, I have talked I touched on the Twins the past couple of nights, and we did talk about them last night as well. I mentioned Joe Ryan at one point. That wasn't the focal point, but I did bring him up later on. I believe when we had a super chat at one point. I've been thinking maybe the Twins could be a team that could maybe get involved with Jarren Duran. They got a lot of outfielders there. I've talked about some different possibilities. Before I get to that, though, let's watch the John Morosi clip from today. He went on MLB Network, and we'll see what he had to say.
We'll see. What does the next 3 weeks look like for the Boston Red Sox? They are playing exciting baseball. They're a fun watch. If you had to project out the number one move they will make at the deadline, what's the first thing they do? You're smiling. What do you got?
Well, I'll say this, Lauren. They could be a buy and sell posture with a focus on adding a longer-term arm to the starting rotation. And
listen, I've been saying that. I feel like I've been saying that in so many videos. So I mean, I guess I guess this is news. I don't know. I thought that was pretty self-explanatory, but kind of saying it like it's like this, almost like this bombshell kind of a thing where I'm like, I mean, it's kind of the position they've been in for a little while. You got a surplus of outfielders, and they need to maybe bolster the top of that rotation a little bit. Yes, they've been pitching well, but anyway.
And that the Red Sox and a number of teams in the major leagues are monitoring, at least right now, Joe Ryan of the Minnesota Twins. Ryan has been excellent so far this season. The hitters of the American League, Lauren, it's as if they're saying, this aggression will not stand, man. And yet he keeps going. He keeps amping it up. That was Robert's by the way.
Happy about that.
Joe Ryan has already, I think he's one of the best starting pitchers in the American League, and he's only getting better. Now, here is what you see with the Red Sox currently. Buehler, notably, is on an expiring contract, of course. Giolito has had injury issues in the past. This, to me, says there is a spot now in this rotation for one more impact arm, and the Red Sox have some controllable pieces to move both in the minor leagues and potentially at the major league level, too. Who could that be? Well, how about Jarren Duran? And here's why Duran is interesting. He is under control.
And in the chat, and so that's a good timing with what he just said. In the chat, Zachary, you're saying, how do you buy and sell? You can't be both. Well, of course you can. You can absolutely be buyers and sellers, where if you have a surplus of one thing, but maybe you need to improve in one area, you could use some of that surplus at the major league level to help improve another part of the roster. So I guess it's buying and selling, right? You're trading away a big piece, but it's also helping another part of the team to help balance things out. So that's an example of buying and selling, right? You're not full-blown sellers where you're just unloading. It's more retooling, right? But yeah, I mean, but technically, yes, you can buy and sell where you give up a big piece to bring something back, right?
For multiple years in the future, very similar to what Joe Ryan's contractual control is actually. And with the arrival now of Roman Anthony, you could potentially have a Red Sox outfield of Anthony, Abreu, and Rafaela in center field, which could make Duran, who's very, very dependable, reliable. He leads actually the American League right now in plate appearances, in at-bats. Jarren Duran posts. And not to necessarily say that this would be the deal, Ryan, for Duran, but the Twins, a team that have needed guys that post consistently, Duran would fit very nicely for the long term in a lineup like what the Twins have. So again,
you bite your tongue on Duran. You're not making.
This is not. Okay. I know, Lauren. I'm not putting 2 and 2 together and getting 10, but these are just scenarios where the Red Sox, hey, when you've already traded Rafael Devers, Lauren, what's one more consistent everyday player who's been an all-star in the past in Jarren Duran? So it's going to be a busy month of July indeed.
All right, so let's get to the Twins' point of view here. Now, with the Twins, they might not be the best trade partner for the Red Sox. Like, I have mentioned them, right, where not even Joe Ryan. I've even talked about, maybe you could even do something for a closer in Yohan Duran or even Griffin Jacks, do a package around one of those guys, trade away Chapman, bring back value for him in some way. That's kind of a scenario that I was thinking, because I'm thinking before, man, would they really want to trade Joe Ryan? With the Twins right now, if we take a look at the standings, they've won a couple here. They're 3 out, but this is a team where they got a lot of injury risk here. They're still waiting on guys in the minor leagues to come up and contribute. They're not fully ready yet. So, with the injury risk, guys not really ready to help out down from the minor leagues, could this be a scenario where the Twins, they maybe start thinking, could this be a time to take advantage of some good value that we have? To maybe bring in some guys, kind of shuffle things up a little bit, right? A bit of a shakeup, right? Maybe bring in some different talent. But, Joe Ryan, he's got a couple more years of control after this. You got to think from the Twins' point of view. This guy's going to get big bucks, when he hits free agency in a couple of years. He'll be, I believe, 31. But this is a guy that he could easily go out there, with how much pitching is these days. He can go out there and get himself a 5-year deal, say $25 million per. I don't think that's any out of the question at all. Will the Twins want to do an extension like that with him? Would he be open to do an extension like that? I don't know. So that's kind of with the Twins. Sure, they've paid some guys here like Correa, Pablo Lopez, Buxton, but I don't know. With the Twins, they kind of lean more towards being a smaller market. Are they going to, I don't want to say small market, but more in that mid-range? Is that something they're going to want to do? I don't know. Or do they look at this and say, you know what? Maybe we can cash in, take advantage of the value, really bring back someone like Jarren Duran. I'm not even going to say him in particular, someone even just like him, right? The same situation where he has a few years of control. And then you maybe even get because with Ryan, his value is very high. I'm going to go over his trade value in just a second here on baseball trade values. But with Ryan, you are going to have to give more than Jarren Duran. It is going to be absolutely more than Duran. So the Twins could really cash in on that and then, shake things up over the next year or so, because they got some guys, maybe even someone like, Connor Prelip could maybe take a step forward and maybe he can go into the rotation for next year. Whatever it may be, maybe go after someone cheaper in free agency. Whatever. I think for the Twins, they're going to have to really get a good offer to give him up. But I don't think they wouldn't listen. Again, a lot of injury risk. They're kind of floating below 500 at this point. They can't really seem to just fully get it going. Pablo Lopez, I think, is starting to throw now. But, you're probably looking at least another month before he comes back, at least. Guys like Correa, you always got to watch out with him. Buxton, you always have to watch out with him. Royce Lewis, there's always something with these guys coming up. So is this a team that is really built right now, at least, to go on a run? Of course, you can always get hot in the second half, but when you got guys like Walker Jenkins that, he's getting closer to Major League ready. Luke Keeschel, remember, he got hurt. He's very good. I love Luke Keeschel. That was a guy the Red Sox were interested in going into that draft when he got drafted. They got some guys here, so maybe they try to set themselves up for the next couple of years. I don't think it's out of the question for them to trade Joe Ryan. Of course, they're going to have to get something good, right? Now, when it comes to the Twins, it's a little hard to fit someone like Duran at this point. Buxton, obviously, center field. Right field, you got Wallner. You got Larnick, but he's been DHing. Now, you have Bader, but Bader's on a one-year deal. So, you kind of wonder what happens there. When Keeschel, right, he had a fracture. I think with Keeschel, he's going to be coming back here. He faced live pitching today, actually. So he's starting to make his way back. So when he comes back, he'll go into second base. Willie Castro, he'll probably go back out to the outfield, whatever it may be. So there is a bit of a jam at that point. But then again, you're looking at it where you got, Ty France is on a one-year deal. Bader's on a one-year deal. I think, can Larnick play first base? No, he's only played in the outfield. But you kind of wonder, could Duran be an option for them? Right now, you'd have to work out some things. You'd have to figure out the roster for that to work. Or could you maybe do something where you get a third team involved? So here's what I was thinking here today. This was the idea that I had for today. I did a 3-team trade. Again, when you get 3 teams, there's a lot going on. So everyone's really going to have to line up on that. But maybe you do something with the Padres where they're a team that has definitely been interested in Jarren Duran. They've been interested in Duran for what feels like for a while now. So maybe you could do a three-team trade where the Padres land Duran. And also, I don't think Willier's going anywhere. I've mentioned this a lot. I just don't think he's going anywhere. He's got another year of control. He's leading the Red Sox in home runs, plays a great defense in right field, a tough right field at Fenway Park. I think Duran's the guy. I know people say, he's the one of the leaders of the team. He's the heart and soul of the team. I get that. I love Duran. I love what he brings to the table. I really do. What he brings to the table, I love that speed dynamic. You saw it today. What the guy can do. He's a dynamic player. But when I'm looking at the Red Sox and trying to win a championship, they really need, yes, the pitching has been pretty solid here, but we can all agree that it has been up and down this year. They need another guy behind Crochet, because right now, if you go into the postseason, I don't mind giving Giolito the ball. I'm not mad about that. I look at Giolito, I'd maybe be more comfortable in the postseason with him starting possibly a game 3. And then I'd rather get a game 2 guy, right? Someone for that situation. Could you go, sorry, my dishes are done. I don't know if you heard the beeping. But Brian Bayo, sure, he just had a complete game against the Rockies, but are you confident with giving him the ball in game 2 in the postseason going up against, say, the Detroit Tigers? I don't know. Walker Buehler at this point, you can't trust Walker Buehler right now. I don't know. Hunter Dobbins, you're not giving, what you giving a rookie, Hunter Dobbins, the ball in game 2? That's the way I'm looking at it. A guy that can just be a stud for you behind, Crochet's getting game 1, but you just wonder who's game 2, right? So that's where, again, I love Duran. I love what he brings to the table. But when you have an outfield of Roman Anthony, who this guy needs to be playing every day against lefties and righties, and Cora said that today on WEEI. He needs to be playing every day. I mean, he clearly can handle the major league level, and he's only going to get better. Seti is the best defensive center fielder in baseball, in my opinion. You could say Pete Crow Armstrong. He's one of the top defensive center fielders in the game. His bat's been great. He needs to stay in center field. I don't like this idea of moving him to the infield. Don't mess with it. Don't mess with it. Keep him in center field. It's working. Don't fix what's not broke, right? Right field, Willier. You got your outfield. And I see people say, oh, well, someone's going to get hurt. All right. Well, okay. But still, I mean, you're going to be keeping all these guys like on the team. I mean, Massa, to me, I'd rather keep Massa in this lineup as much as possible at DH. It's the way I see it. And obviously you got Ref Snyder. I just don't think you need that many outfielders. And obviously I would like to have Duran. And here's the thing, you're not getting rid of Massa, so get that out of your head. He's not going anywhere. You're not going to be able to move that contract. It's not happening. So, and they're not going to DFA him. And obviously what you saw here tonight, I'd like to keep him. I think he's a nice bat to have in your lineup. And if the Red Sox felt like he was a lost cause and he wasn't going to be able to do anything for you, I think they would have DFA'd him by this point. I really do. Right? They did it with Pablo Sandoval. They did it with Hanley Ramirez. They've done it in the past under this ownership group. If they felt like he couldn't bring anything to the table, I think they would have done it by now. So they're not going to. So to me, Duran, with the value that he has, with his value, closes the gap so much in terms of trying to land someone. So back to the idea. Jarren Duran, Padres, they like him a lot. Let's say Joe Ryan goes to the Red Sox. Let's take a look here. Obviously, he's got a lot of value. No, that's not the right team. $70 million worth of surplus value. Well, you're asking, Robbie, how does that work? What does $70 million mean? What is that? Well, that's surplus value. You take a look at what he's going to be giving you in value on the field. Each wins above replacement. That's how these front offices work. They are buying wins. Sorry to sound like Moneyball. They are buying wins, right? So with Joe Ryan, he's projected for a good amount of wins. Let's actually go to the Zips projections here. I mean, front offices aren't really they're going to use their own projections, but, this is public data. So if we go to the 3 years, he is projected for pretty solid numbers. But again, they're at low innings with him. Maybe they're factoring in injury risk here. I mean, but if you can keep this guy healthy, I mean, he's going to be, a 3 to a 3.5, maybe even a 4 win player per year. So that's a lot of money, and he's not making a lot. That's a lot of value, sorry. And he's not making a lot of money on top of that. So when you subtract the difference, right? A win, I've talked about this before, a win is going to be worth, it depends. Every team is going to every organization is going to have their own value on a win. But on average, you're looking around like anywhere from like 8 to 10 million. That could go a lot of different ways for a lot of teams. So you can just say 9 million, right? So if Joe Ryan at minimum is a 2-win player for you, that's 18 million. Two more years of control, right? I'm going at minimum there, right? So that ends up being 36 million. And then how much is this guy going to be making here over the next couple of years? He's at 3 million for this year. That'll go up. He'll probably end up making anywhere, 10 to 20 million, or probably 15, 20 million over the next couple of years. So you subtract that. But again, I'm going the minimum there. Let's say he ends up being like a 3-win player, 27 million over the next 2.5 years. That's a lot of value right there. Subtract the fact that he's not making a lot of money. Yeah, it's going to be expensive for him. He's cheap and he's good. Simple as that. So Joe Ryan, $70 million. Jaren Duran with his projections and the money that he's projected to make, surplus of 40. So that's where you could get another team involved here where you could help close the gap, right? Especially if the Twins don't want someone like Duran. So the Padres, well, you kind of look at them, right? What could they send over to help close that gap? Could you maybe send over, probably not going to give up Leo DeVries. He's one of the top prospects in the game, but maybe someone like Ethan Salas, where they've had a hard time getting his bat going. The Twins, they could use some more depth at the catcher position in their organization. Could you do something with Ethan Salas? That could be a future catcher for them. I know they picked up Diego Cartaya, but he really fell off with the Dodgers organization. So, could be a future catcher for you possibly. Then, the Red Sox, they could send over some other pieces to the Twins to help really close the gap. And the Red Sox, they got some solid prospects here that are looking like they could very well be very good major league players. Send over, it depends. What do the Twins want? I don't know, maybe Franklin Arias. I don't know, they got a lot of middle infielders, so I don't know if they want him, but just for example, someone like him, he's a top 100 prospect, getting closer to major league ready. Could be a future middle infielder. But again, they have a lot of infielders, so I don't know if they would want to do that. But you could do someone like Franklin Arias, or, you got the password, Yostinson Garcia. You can go him. You can throw in some other guys. I don't know. Got James Tibbs, who you just got back in the deal for Raffy. Flip him, possibly. Someone like, send back a pitching prospect like Connolly Early. He's having a good year. I don't know. Do you send over Brandon Clark? He's pretty far away. He's looking good. But whatever. They would probably want some good pitching in return. So right here with these three guys, you're already in the ballpark. Throw in one more guy. Maybe the Red Sox, they send back a few prospects. And I don't know, maybe you send back someone like Brandon Clark. I know a lot of people like Brandon Clark, but even if you got to do a bit of an overpay here to get a deal done, maybe this could end up doing it, right? So again, you're looking at I think a situation here where maybe you can get a third team involved. Maybe that could help land the Red Sox to the number 2 they've been wanting. This might be way too much for a lot of Red Sox fans. I totally get that. But remember, like the old saying goes, if you want something good, you got to give up something good. And maybe it's not Joe Ryan. Maybe it's someone else out there. Maybe another team feels like they want to unload a starting pitcher and they want to get back some value like this. Right? Now, with AJ Preller, I'm going to point this out with Preller. We all know how aggressive this guy is to try and get a deal done. He's got a lot of deals done in the past, and if he wants Jaren Duran, you could definitely do something like this, in my opinion. I see you in the chat. Brett, why not Dobbins or Fitz? Well, why not? Why not? Take out Brandon Clark? Yeah. Obviously, I like Richard Fitz. I hope he doesn't go anywhere. But maybe you could do Fitz. Maybe Fitz. That's actually getting a little bit more even right there in terms of value. But if you're looking at it in terms of the market, you might have to give a bit more than this. But if the Twins want a close to major league ready, or not close, but a major league ready starter in return, Richard Fitz, that's a pretty solid middle of the rotation guy for you. And then someone like Connolly Early, there's some upside with him. It doesn't even have, whatever. It doesn't have to be early, I don't know. Again, getting back to, maybe they want someone with a lot of upside like a Brandon Clark. I would hate this, but, if they said Peyton Tolle, I would hate to give up Peyton Tolle. That's something I would not want to do. But there's a lot of upside with him. Depends on how bad the Red Sox would want Joe Ryan. I don't think so. Yeah, Lawson, I know he's in high A, but that's why I'm saying maybe you give a major league ready starter in Richard Fitz, or maybe Hunter Dobbins. I don't know. That way they get something for the rotation for next year, and then they get some upside for the future, right? I think there's a lot of ways you can go here. And I'm going to say this. Don't discount the draft coming up. Because there are some first-round arms that I wonder if the Red Sox could take a peek at, that they could end up taking. You got some guys like Gage Wood out of Arkansas, just had a 19 strikeout no-hitter. Could you end up taking someone like him, who he goes right to the top of your farm system, and you unload, one of your higher pitching prospects? I think the draft could come into play here, where if the Red Sox get themselves some good arms that they like, that's replenishing your system right there. Don't discount the draft, especially with how much talent there is these days when it comes to these guys are so advanced and they're getting so good to the point where they're major league ready within a couple of years, So keep your eye out. Maybe that could come into play a little bit. We'll see. But we do have one more bit of news here. We have Alex Bregman. It looks like Alex Bregman's going to be coming back here. Alex Cora, like I said, talked on WEEI. Said Bregman returning to the field this week. I've been saying this. I've been saying this a lot. I think Bregman could absolutely come back before the All-Star break, especially now when you got a big series with the Rays with wild card implications. Try and get yourself at full strength. Bregman's healthy, man. He's been looking good. He's running good. He is pretty much at that recovery timeline where he should be good to go at this point. I think at most he had a grade 2 quad strain. Grade 1, I've had a grade 1 quad strain. Like, I was fine within like a week, right? I was back to squatting in like not under 2 weeks, right? I basically took a week off of squatting. I just did like body weight stuff for that week, and then I was pretty much good to go, right? So grade 2, though, you're looking at a good, month and a half, 2 months, but he's right there in that window right now. That's what I think it was. I think the quad strain that he had back with Houston, what was it, like 2021, whatever it was? I think that was like a grade 3. That was a bad one. But I think he definitely had a good one this time, but it looks like he, especially with the way he's been ramping up his rehab and how good he's looking right now, that to me, I think he's right there with his recovery. And I think coming back against the Rays, it's not a bad idea at all, right? Gives him a few ABs before the All-Star break, maybe gives him some momentum going into the All-Star break, and then you're good to go opening up the second half. So, but everybody, I'm going to wrap it up right there. Fantastic crowd here tonight. You guys are awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we had over 200 people pretty much the entire time. I want to say thank you for that. Really do appreciate that. Again, all of the support that we've been having here on Monster Territory, I can't thank you enough. You're all awesome. We're trying to get to 5K, maybe by the trade deadline. That might be a little too much to ask, a little too much too soon, but maybe we could do it. We just hit 4K the other day, and hey, feeling good. Red Sox are playing good. You guys are awesome coming out here and watching my potato face. Bregman's coming back. Masa's back. Maybe we get a starting pitcher too for the rotation. Things are looking up, ladies and gentlemen. Can you stop the Sox? Well, I don't know. Let's see how they do against the Rays, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. Everybody, on the way out, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're new, and we'll talk to you next time.